Hey Taurus, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading. These are general readings. We're going to take what works, sleep what doesn't, as with everything in life. And if I don't catch your wavelength or storyline on this reading, check your other major placements. Or even if I do get your storyline or wavelength on this reading, also you can go check. Nothing is stopping you from going to check your other major placements if that's what you want. All right. Ooh, Earth. Okay, we have inner temple devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. So remaining devoted to something that you're very passionate about. You're probably very aware of this, but just remaining devoted to that and staying in your sort of what you want and what your own vision and your own goals for your life. So remaining devoted to that, tuning into the portal of your heart, connecting, reconnecting if necessary to some sort of passion, to something that you truly believe in, some way that you want to organize your life and orient your life around that. So remaining devoted to something that's sacred to you. We also have share your voice, come out of the cave. Persecution expression. You've hidden some part of yourself away, or maybe the whole self away, given the incredible experiences of this past year that we've gone through as a whole of humanity. So sharing your voice, speaking up about something, sharing some sort of creative vision, sharing your vision. So there's something you're very devoted to, and it's time for you to bring it out, into the world. It's maybe been a plan that you've worked on, or something, some passion of yours that's been inside you, that you've maybe been secretly working on bit by bit. But this is time to, there's a time element too to share your voice. Like, you have something to say, you have a contribution to make. You shouldn't be hiding it away anymore. I mean, yeah, there's a time. Coming out of the cave always reminds me of some sort of birth, bringing something in this inner temple and this cave. So you've been, something inside you, you've been working on it, maybe for 9 months, you've been building something in darkness, something you've been devoted to, something all of your energy has gone to, something you've been creating from scratch, something that's of high value and very important to you. And you've created this thing, and this is time to give birth to that thing, time to bring that thing out into the world. You've been very devoted to it, dedicated to it, nurturing it, growing it in the dark, and now it's time for it to see the light of day. It's time for you to communicate openly and clearly, something that you may have been working on for a while now. And then we have full moon in Libra. A win-win outcome is forecast. So obviously a really beautiful, lovely card. The possibilities are right now for everybody to be happy, for everyone to get their needs met, for everyone to have what they need out of this situation, for it to be mutually very beneficial. As it becomes fuller, as the situation develops, as it becomes more of this full moon, we'll be seeing more and more how everybody can benefit from this situation, how there's a really nice give and take here. There's people getting what they need, you getting what you need. And so there's something that you're sharing with the world, and it's going to be mutually beneficial for a lot of people, or for somebody else. It's a win-win outcome. This isn't a win-lose. We don't have to compete here. We don't have to be... this isn't somebody gets what they want and somebody walks away crying situation. This is one of those beautiful, I mean, there's a lot of potential for this in every situation, but not every situation does have the potential for it. There's a lot of potential for this, but sometimes the way situations get set up and sometimes the people we work with don't allow for win-win outcomes. But this is saying that whatever we're dealing with right here, there's some really great potential there. All right. And then I already cut the deck here. Past, present, inner landscape, what's at issue, your environment, to-do list, possible outcome. Really, honey? Okay. Well, Aries just got a bunch of these cards too, in different places, different orders, so the meaning changes. It's just fun to see these people show up again and again in a week, I think. It's very fun. Okay, so in your recent past, we have Knight of Wands. This is communication. This is very inspired leaps forward, very excited, inspired, leaping with our intuition. Maybe there's The Knight of Wands, Knights are communication and movement forward. Wands are inspiration, could be creativity, could be sexuality, could be anywhere where that energy sits, that sort of divine spark of life sits. So there's communication about something, and there's a leap forward that's maybe been a little bit daring, a little bit brash, a little bit rash, a little bit a daring movement, a daring communication, something about creativity and excitement and a real leap forward into something. So this is definitely a, you know, they say look before you leap. This was probably a leap before you looked type of situation, really jumping into something, either just with a conversation or communication wise, but hopefully it wasn't leaping to conclusions, which is also very rash and brash, but in not the good way. So a lot of brave movement towards something that ignited your passion. It could have been even this, tuning into the portal of your heart, right? That passion connection with the universe, where that energy comes from some sort of universal well, and moved you or moved somebody. Could be somebody else here that took some very rash communication, some sudden moves, sudden brash action, or very creative communication and moving forward with something by leaps and bounds that are a little bit risky. What are you risking? You know, we say risky, but what is it that you're risking? Because risky is very different for everybody. So we can risk reputations. We can risk, you know, our earthly goods. We can risk our very lives sometimes. Although that would be like, you know how I talk about these readings being on like a scale of 1 to 10, that would be like a 12 reading here, risking your life for something. In your current situation, we have the High Priestess here. We have, oh, who was I looking at before? What was that one? Anaisnin, the card in a different deck, I guess, was coming to mind, the High Priestess. Anyway, this is about what can be known, what cannot be known, what's hidden from you. Currently, there are things hidden from you. You might be getting a bit of a glimpse behind the magic curtain of life and what's back there and what's behind there and what holds it all together. But the High Priestess is with what can be known, what cannot be known. With the High Priestess, to me, always represents the tarot deck itself and tarot itself. And tarot is telling you, it's revealing some things and it's withholding some things. There's a pattern of growth here. There's a pattern. There is predictability. I see like a Mandelbrot set, but the predictability almost goes in reverse. There's some sort of program that's started and you can't see where it's going. You're not allowed to see where it's going. But there's a lot of learning because you have to learn as you go. Because if she gave you the answers, you wouldn't know. Because, oh, this came up in a private reading recently, that somebody wanted to skip to the back of the book. They didn't want to show their work. They didn't want to do the work. They wanted to skip to the back of the math book, just write down the answer and call that good. But the universe wants you to do your work, wants you to take it step by step, wants you to learn through this process, right? Basically, we're here to learn. So when we skip to the end and we don't actually learn how to do something or learn about ourselves or learn about or grow from something, if we don't experience personal growth from something, then what's the point? Because we're here to grow, we're here to learn. And so in this way, in this mentality, right, we can't lose, because we're either, if something doesn't work out, it's a really good lesson for us to learn. If something does work out, then we got what we wanted. So either way, though, we're growing, and that's the point of it all, is growing and learning and developing and becoming new people every day, and not in a, so that would be very dramatic if you did that every day, but, you know, approaching life new every day, and, you know, not being able to see a little bit of this path. She's talking about some things being withheld. Information is withheld. You don't know where this is going on purpose, because you either wouldn't learn the lesson if you knew, and you would just want to skip ahead and skip some information, or you would either like skip ahead, or you wouldn't learn, or you would stop paying attention to the here and now and just pay attention to the end result. She wants you to pay attention to the here and now. She's telling you, yes, there's stuff you don't know. There's stuff you don't know that only I know. I'm not going to share it with you on purpose. So So because I need you to trust yourself, and I need you to be devoted to your own growing, your own growth, and your own development. Yeah, I mean, this is a risk, right? We've got risks here. She's actually saying, yeah, this is a risk. I'm not going to tell you what the outcome is. I don't want you to know, because I want you to learn how to take risks and learn that risk taking is part of your path, right? Because sharing your voice is always a risk. I mean, why else would you like hide it away unless you knew for certain that sharing your voice is a risk? And so there's a risk here. And she doesn't want to give you the outcome because you need to feel comfortable taking the risk. Your hope, your fears, your inner landscape, what's on your mind. This is your hope, Ace of Pentacles. That's something that's got a lot of roots to it, a lot of other work. Maybe we've done cups work, or emotional work, or wand work, energy work, and creative work, and dreaming work, and thinking work, and swords work, and communication. And we want this thing to come out into the real world, right? So all of these other things are back here. This has been growing and coming for a long time subterraneanly. Like, this is all the stuff you can't see on the surface happening behind the scenes, and we're really longing for something to emerge into reality, to be viable in reality, to start a journey in this 3D world. This is the beginning of something real, the beginning of something that you literally devote time to, or money to, or something like that. You're longing for the beginning of the real thing, that all the prep work is done, and now begins the actual journey. Like before, I was talking about this baby. This is like, yeah, you've had 9 months behind the curtain, not able to see. Like, going on the metaphor of the baby, maybe this wasn't quite planned out perfectly. You know something, but you don't know other things. Maybe you don't know the gender. You don't know I don't think you'll know the gender anyway, even when it's born, but you don't know a lot about this thing, but it is behind the curtain. And then you're longing for it to be born, to actually meet this little critter that you've been growing inside of yourself, to emerge from the cave and to be expressed in reality. So, your baby is a metaphor. And then what's at issue here is this Ace of Cups. There's a little bit of feeling drained, feeling tired, feeling maybe depressed. Ace of Cups reversed would be not having a new beginning, not feeling fresh, not feeling refreshed, feeling exhausted and tired, possibly depressed, depleted, emotionally depleted, and not feeling it. Like you're hoping for something new to come into reality, but you're really not feeling a strong emotional connection to it. It's like you're just ready for the thing to get going, for this thing to start moving, but there's a sense of being depressed or depleted, drained and empty, not feeling the new beginning. It's like you're ready for some physical new beginning, even though you're just like not feeling it anymore. You're not really emotionally invested anymore in something, and you may be feeling quite depleted. No new beginning here. Not a lot of love, not feeling a lot of love here, feeling sort of empty. And then in your environment, you have Three of Cups. You have a lot of support. You have a friend group or some sort of social group, some sort of social circle here that you share things with, and you share the good, the bad, the ugly with, soulful sharing. So surrounding you right now is a social circle of mutual support, emotional support. So even though we've got our Ace of Cups is dumped over and feeling possibly dumped actually, and feeling drained and depleted, there is a friend group or some sort of emotional support. You do have support around you, emotional support around you. It's mutual. It's mutual. And then your to-do list, the energy that you're looking to interact with, the energy, you'll know when this opportunity comes up, you'll you'll know. But this is to pick something, make a choice. This choice can be a little overwhelming. There could be several possible options for something, a way to move forward, a way to do something, a couple different options. One sticks out to you. You might want to debate the other options. You might want to do like a pro-con list for the other options. But in the end, you got to go with your intuition, and you got to go with the one that sticks out and the one that caught your eye originally. This is a funny metaphor, but sometimes, like when I'm shopping online, I'll click on something and I realize that, and I don't like any of the other colors. I clicked on it because of the color that I saw, or because of that thing. So you might go through the other, this is a funny metaphor, but you might go through the other colors, but in the end, it's going to be the one that caught your eye to begin with, right? You may be like, oh, maybe I do want that in pink. Maybe I do want that in red. What about that in white? That could be good. What would white go with? But in the end, you go with the turquoise because that's what you saw. That's what caught your eye. That's the color that caught your eye. So something like that. Something catches your eye originally. You may be going back to an original choice after debating several. And these debates aren't problematic. They actually just underscore your choice and help you be more certain about what you want. Because sometimes when we make these brash movements, we end up in a place of doubt because we didn't really think it through. So this is like really thinking something through, right? You may have made some sort of choice or decision or communication in the past that was very rash and very jumping into things and not looking before you leap. Okay, now we're looking and considering after we leap. We may end up going back to that original decision and being like, yeah, no, given everything I know now and how much I've studied this and how much I would make the same choice, I would make the same decision. Maybe you make a different decision that kind of called to you, but before you made a decision that that seemed right at the time. So this could be like going back and reviewing a decision that you made, especially since we have the Knight of Wands in the past here. Reviewing a decision and then making a new one. But basically I see like a decision being made, choices being made. There are a lot of options, a lot of ways you could go, but you pick the choice that calls to you. I mean, this is a guessing game. What's going to make us happiest? Well, mostly it's just us making us happy, and because we can't really wait for our environment to be exactly perfect for us to be happy, because then we'll never be happy. So, but there are situations and things that we can be happier with than not. So this is you making a choice and trying to guess which one's going to be the best one for you. But we do have a win-win outcome as forecast. So we do have something here that could be really, has the potential to be really mutually beneficial. Possible outcome. Possible outcome is conflict. I mean, this is strategies, conflict, having to deal with other people's conflicts, maybe conflicts of interest, scheduling conflicts. There's some conflict here. Everybody has their own motivations here. Everybody has what they want out of the situation. Everybody has the different strategies for how they employ that. And one strategy that someone uses may not make any sense to you and would be the last strategy you would pick, but that's the way it's going. And so you don't necessarily understand instantly where other people are coming from and why they're doing what they're doing. Because if I were to do something like that, it would be because of this and this and this. But that person's doing something because of this, this, and this is what they want out of the situation, which maybe didn't occur to you that someone would want that out of the situation. So competing strategies, competing desires, competing, and having to be a little strategic with how you handle people and how you handle the situation so that it doesn't blow up. So needing to be a little strategic in conflict, needing to be openly conflict. I mean, that's one thing when we're playing chess, we know we're not on the same team, right? We know that we're not on the same side. We know it's very clear, you know, sometimes with this win-win outcome, sometimes the situation is that we're on opposing teams. We're on opposing teams. So it's very clear what our motivation is when we're playing chess with someone. We want to win. That's the clear motivation, unless it's with a child, in which case the motivation might be wanting to teach more than wanting to win. So that could be a different strategy, right? That's even with something as basic as a game where the whole point is to win, there could actually be some other strategies. Maybe getting to know someone, maybe trying to understand someone versus trying to win. And it doesn't matter if you win or not. It matters if you understand how their mind works. It's what you're actually going for. So being clear on your strategy as you go into a conflict, or being clear on what you want as you go into a conflict. And I think you've got to make a choice. You may have some resistance. You may have people that disagree with you, but your motivation, you need to be at least clear on your motivation. You're not going to be able to be clear on everybody else's motivation. So what's interesting is we do have a win-win forecast, is win-win outcome forecast. And at the same time, another possible outcome is some conflict, but it could be resolved. It could be resolved. So understand that whatever conflict comes out of you making a choice, making your decision, whatever conflict may arise from that, it is possible that it can be worked out. And it could be even within a social circle that this conflict arises within your social circle. Right, part of making this decision is that maybe not everyone's going to agree with you. And having to deal with the fallout from that. Right? We're taking a risk, we're leaving some kind of safety zone here. And taking a risk and making a clear choice. People might not like it, but a win-win outcome is forecast overall. So Taurus, I hope that was helpful for you. Thank you so much for your likes, subscribes, and comments. And I'll see you guys in probably about 2 weeks.